Hello, thanks for joining me again today. As you can probably tell, I am back in Guatemala again, and it's kind of especially important for me to be in Guatemala at this moment, as you'll find out during this video. So, of course, today I'm going to be talking with you about the Trecena of K'at. Now, the Trecena of K'at could be seen as a time of bringing it all together, bringing things together. It could be seen as the start of a new harvest, it could be seen as the start of a new planting, and both of those things kind of coming together as one. Now, we're obviously going to start on the day one K'at. K'at, the net, K'at, that which binds. And so, if you do have something that you want to kind of like bring together, this is a great time to start that process, whether it's bringing people together, whether it's bringing ideas together, however it might be. Now, it always interests me that the glyph for the Nawal K'at, for me, it looks like a seed being planted into a furrow. And there is an element with K'at which involves multiplication. We plant one seed, we get what, 1,200 back? However many we get back, a lot more. And so it's about planting the seed of something which you hope will then multiply, or which will then multiply with time. And then there's also this element of gathering. There's the beginning of like filling your net with the abundance that you've planted in a previous time. And so we see this kind of like changeover happening. So one K'at would be a great day to maybe plant an idea, to start something new that you hope that will multiply. It's a great day to, kind of like begin getting people, getting things together, making a start. Now, the beginning, can also be something which has a little bit of doubt to it. Maybe we need to ask our friends, get some ideas, get some other opinions on how we're going to gather those things, or when we should plant stuff, or whatever the case may be. But ultimately, K'at is going to be something which, so long as we don't allow it to become too massive, so that it becomes a burden, K'at is something which is a blessing. And so it's a great day to, begin the things which are going to fill the belly. It's a great day to plant those things. So whether that is literal, I guess if you're in the southern hemisphere, because it's not going to work very well in the northern hemisphere, or whether it is metaphorical, today's a great day to plant what you want to multiply. A great day to get it in its furrow. Plant that seed so that it can take root and multiply. From one K'at, we're then going to go into two Kan. And so the Nawal Kan, representing power and wisdom. Nawal Kan is very, very strong Nawal. A Nawal about teaching, a Nawal about illusions as well. And of course, whenever we're planting something, whenever we're, kind of like, we're waiting for the abundance to come, but there's also an obligation that we have. Whenever we take on something, it can also be a bit of a burden as well. We've got to look after it while it's growing. Now, two can be a look at both sides of the story, the two representing the dualistic nature, and Kan representing the wisdom. And so it's kind of like the wisdom that shows us both sides of the story. It can also be using both sides in order to see through illusions, because that's what Kan does as well. That's what our teachers help us to do, to see past the illusion to the truth, and to see it in, kind of like very defined terms. This or that, left or right, up or down. It's about making a choice as to how we use our wisdom, and maybe how we use our power as well. From two Kan, we then go into three Kame. So Kame, the Nawal of transformation, and three, the number which represents the inner world. So if there was ever a day when you might be facing your inner fears and transforming, then 3 Kame is the day to be doing it. Of course, this can have very powerful outcome. It might obviously be, kind of like a scary process as you're going through it. I mean, we don't face our fears and, kind of like not have some trepidation about it. But, kind of like this is where we might also encounter fears which have more impact on the inner world than the outer world. The number 3 asking us to focus on the inside. And sometimes there's those things which we look at and we see as being big and scary because we haven't faced them yet. It's like on the outside, actually, they might not be that big or that scary. It's on our inside that we've got to overcome it. And so 3 Kame is really looking at how to work with those fears in order to overcome them. Now, of course, Kame also represents the ancestors. And so this can also be a day to call on the ancestors to help to connect them within you. Connect with their spirit, connect with their voice, connect them in your inner world to help you to get over those fears, to help you to transform. As we're going to see later on, we're going to need that. And so, particularly if you've got, an inner fear, and 3 Kame is a great day to be calling on the ancestors to help you work on it. From 3 Kame, we're then going into 4 K'at. Well, this should be an extremely stable day. We have K'at representing strength, representing our connection to the natural world. And we have the number 4 representing the earthly plane. Very, very down to earth, very, very grounded. K'at suggesting it's a great day to get out into the world. So again, I recommend this for pretty much every K'at day. Is a great day to get out into the wilderness, to get out into nature, to get out in the green. But the 4 that we see with this K'at is really saying go and get in physical touch with it. Particularly, kind of like if you're feeling disempowered, particularly if you're feeling ungrounded, 4 K'at is a great day to go out into nature, to go out into the hills, the mountains, to go out into the forests and really ground yourself in that element. Now, K'at is also a Nawal of leadership. And we can see that this is a great day to kind of like bring that down to earth. It's a great day to, kind of like use the understandings that you receive from the natural world to help to bring yourself down to earth, bring yourself into balance. From 4 K'at, we're then going into 5 Anil. Anil representing the receipt, the harvest. It's interesting to see K'at followed by Anil and Anil followed by Toch and the way that they work and all that kind of thing. But Anil is really, for me, about kind of like reaping what we sow. Anil we can see as the ripening of the maize. We can see it as the yellowing which comes when we've planted right. But here we see it with the number 5, and the number 5 can very much represent having to put our work into it. This is saying kind of like it doesn't just appear. It doesn't kind of come for free. We really need to make sure that we are putting our energy into it. And so as such, it's a great day to be putting that energy into your projects, into your plans, that which you want to bring to maturity. Now, for me, the 5 is something which moves quickly forward. We can also see that it is something which is very, very beneficial. It moves to a 13 in the Mayan cross. And so it's kind of like something where we put our energy in and it reproduces itself in a much more effective way than we might have believed or thought. And so 5 Anil is definitely a day where, kind of like you put a little bit of energy into it and you're kind of like guaranteed a rich return on that. And so whatever it is that you need to nurture, whatever it is that you want to bring to fruition, that's the day to put your energy behind it and bring it into the world. From 5 Anil, we then move into 6 Toch. So, I often talk about this Anil Toch interplay. On Anil days, we often receive the fruits of our labor. On Toch days, we tithe a bit back in order to bring health, in order to make sure that we've paid off our debts. And what we can see with the 6 Toch is that this is in particular a day when we make our ceremony, when we make our offerings, when we make our service on behalf of our family. So it's something to help us to keep our family into balance. It's something which helps us to bring great stability to our families. So on 6 Toch, however it might work, whether it's you need to put a little energy into doing something for your family, Perhaps there's something, something you've been putting off. Maybe there's something that kind of like a little bit of input from you, some time spent, some energy spent in one way or another is something which is going to help to bring real stability to your family. 6 Toch is a great day to do it. We can also see Toch as something which is a signpost, which kind of works to help us to understand when we've become out of balance. And sometimes that lack of balance comes in a form of sickness. And so this sickness, of course, could be physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. And perhaps if that is something which is out of balance in your family, 6 Toch is a great day to make an offering in order to pay off whatever debt is causing that. From 6 Toch, we then move to 7 Tz'i. 7 Tz'i, a very important day. We got the 7, which is the midpoint, but also like the pinnacle of the pyramid. With Tz'i, the guide. Tz'i, the one who is taking us forwards, our trusty, loyal, faithful companion that helps us, that's been guiding us through these 260 days. Now, coming up will be 8 bats, Wajxakib bats, which you probably know is a very important day. And so 7 Tz'i is the last day before that. So it's almost as if our faithful, trusty companion has taken us back to the top of the pyramid, ready for the initiation of Wajxakib bats. And here they wave us goodbye. This is the end of the road with them. And so we can see it as a time of kind of like choosing a new guidance. The 7, as we're standing on top there, we realize we come to the end of something and now it's time to choose something new. What are we going to choose? Well, we're on top of the pyramid. What do you want to choose? It should all be laid out for you. But if you are having kind of like a crisis of conscience, crisis of faith or anything like that, 7 Tz'i is a great day to be asking your guidance or asking your guides to show you, to give you the choice. It's also a day to make the choices that you may have been kind of like sitting on or waiting on for a while. Now, it can be seen as the end of one form of guidance in order to step into something new as well. And it can also be seen, kind of like Tz'i can also be about our vices. It can be about temptation. And when we see it from that peak, maybe we can see, okay, this is where I want to go, this is where I want to go, that's where I don't want to go. And so it's about making a choice between maybe your vices and what's in your best interest in order to grow, in order to flourish with what you planted. From 7 Tz'i, we then go into 8 bats. Wajxakib bats, a day of initiation, the first day of the ceremonial cycle, the first day of the initiation cycle within the calendar. A day of celebration of the sacred calendar itself. And on this day, it will be a day when everybody who's been trained to work with the fire, all the Wajxakib, will be making their ceremonies. Places like Momos Denango will be full of people and fires, people coming from all over the country to come and make their fire in the sacred center. It's a day to celebrate the weaving of space and time. It's a day to celebrate the rhythms of the sacred calendar. It's a day when many new Wajxakib, many new day keepers will be initiated as well. And so it can very much be seen as a day of celebration, a day of great ceremony. And so this is something to do. So if you're interested in the calendar, maybe this is a day for you to light your candles and give thanks for what the calendar has brought to you. And from 8 bats, we're then going into 9 the life path. We have the road, the journey, the path, combined with the number 9, the number of the feminine, the number of life itself. This is a day to figure out your life path. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? We've gone from 7 Tz'i, where we were kind of like leaving the guidance behind and making our choices, through the initiation of Wajxakib bats, into 9 into Belahe the life path. And so this is the first day after initiation, is the beginning of the life path. And so this is a great day if you're going to make any changes. If you kind of like it's time to begin that journey, which is not necessarily a physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual journey. It's all of them combined together right at this point in time, in this lifetime right now. 9 is the time to do it. Now, it is also a day, the 9 being the celebration of the women as well. So we could see it as the feminine path. But for me, this is really a day, if you are looking to start a new path of life, if you are looking at, kind of like, where does my life path take me next? If you got an idea, 9 is the day to take the step onto it. From 9 we're then going to 10 Ach. Ach, representing the spinal column, representing the home. Ach, representing authority. And here we see it with the number 10. The number 10 representing community. 10 Ach is a wonderful day to be standing up for what is right within your community. 10 Ach is a great day to bring people together, to make sure that the community is nourished, because Ach is all about bringing harmony to our community, harmony to our home. Ach is about looking after everybody, making sure that everybody has enough to eat, making sure that everybody is looked after in one way or another. Ach, as the Nawal of the spinal column, makes us stand up straight and tall, having the courage to do the right thing, having the courage to say the right thing, to bring our community into harmony, to bring our home into harmony. Now, sometimes saying that right thing, doing that right thing, might be hard as well, because maybe it's not a particularly popular opinion or something like that. Ach gives us the courage to stand up for what is the most harmonious solution within the community. And so it'd be a great day to, if there is imbalance in society, if there is imbalance in community, 10 Ach is a great day to call a meeting to address those. From 10 Ach, we're then going into 11 Ish. Ish being our connection to the sacred, being our connection to Mother Earth. Ish being our connection to the altars and to the shrines. 11 Ish is suggesting drawing on many, many different ways of creativity, because the 11 is taking inspiration from all around and bringing it together. And here, where is that information coming from? That information coming from? It's coming from the sacred sites. It's coming from the altars. It's understanding what you learnt from this altar, from that altar, what you learnt from places where you've travelled, where you've made ceremony, and bringing them together. Because each of us has an opportunity to visit these places, whether they are in Europe, whether they're in the Americas, whether they're in Asia, wherever they might be. And as you go to each of those sacred sites, it leaves an impression on you. It encodes its energy into you. And so what you become, what you have been imbibed with, is a combination of those sacred energies, those ways of connecting with Mother Earth. And 11-ish is saying, yeah, okay, there's this bit over there, and there's that bit over there, and there's that bit over there. And I think it's about bringing them together and celebrating the sacred nature of all of those different types of sites. Now, Ish is always a time when we're connecting with our own magic. We're connecting with the spirit of Mother Earth through those sacred sites. And so if you have the opportunity to go visit one, then that's wonderful. And when we're making ceremony, one of the first things that we do is call in the energies of the sacred sites that we worked before. This is kind of like bringing all of that connection, bringing all of that magic, for want of better words, together in one place, so that every ceremony is built on the energy of the ceremonies or the places where we've held ceremony before. And so 11-ish is a great time to be doing that. It's a great day to be doing that, either mentally or physically, connecting with all of these different sacred sites that you've visited to understand how it comes together to form your particular way of communicating with Mother Earth, your particular magic. From 11-ish, we're then going into 12 Tz'ikin. So Tz'ikin, the vision. Tz'ikin, the one who gives us the sight the one who brings prosperity through vision. Now that prosperity helps us to see forwards into the future, helps us to enable our community and our families to flourish. And here we see it with the number 12, which can represent bringing together all of life's experiences. And so this can be two things. For me, this can be very much like kind of like maybe there's something that we've been working on all of our life, a vision that we've been working on. Well, 12 Tz'ikin might be about bringing all of the elements together, all of the elements of the visions that we've had together into one bundle to take that vision forward. It can also be using our life experience to help us to get to the vision, because sometimes we get a bit stuck. It's kind of like life's not always quite as smooth as we'd like it to be, right? And so sometimes we need a little bit of a helping hand. How is your vision doing? How is it going? Where is it going? Have you got a bit stuck? Because maybe today is the day to draw on your life experience, say, that thing that I encountered 20 years ago, I can see now that's where that fits into my vision. So you can see it as a bit of a life review day to understand what you might be holding on to that can help you to take your vision forwards. And then finally, we come to the day 13 Ajmak. Ajmak representing forgiveness and pardon. Ajmak representing the sweetness of life. And here connected with the number of the ancestors. Here connected with the number of spirit. So of course, there are several things that can come up through it. It could be about asking for forgiveness from your ancestors, because maybe you're not exactly living the life that they'd planned for you, but that's your life and it's up to you to live the way that you want to. It's a great day to kind of like become into balance with your ancestors should you need to. It's also a great day to ask for forgiveness on behalf of your ancestors, because maybe your ancestors did things in a different way, in a way that wouldn't necessarily be acceptable today. And maybe this is time to make amends, time to break that chain. I see this as kind of like the ability to offer pardon, to ask for forgiveness on behalf of that chain, on behalf of those ancestors. So if this is something which is necessary within your family line, within your history or something like that, then 13 Ajmak is a great day to be, kind of like making that ceremony, doing that work to be forgiven by the ancestors. And so I hope this has been interesting for you. And I look forward to seeing you in 13 days' time for the Trecena of K'at. Thank you.